30. Okay, again, as cited in the previous verse, this harkens back to Genesis chapter 2. The woman was taken from the side of Adam. She was fashioned from who he already was, rather than being fashioned from the earth as Adam was. In a figurative way, the church sprang from the side of Christ as well. Thus, the personal nature of Eve, being truly a part of Adam, is repeated in the personal nature of our being so intimately connected to Christ. In this most intimate union, Paul says that we are members of his body. Our spiritual connection to Christ is so tied up in the work of the Lord that we are directly connected to him, even as being of his flesh and of his bones. That's the part that isn't in his Bible, but it is in this one. Nothing could be more personal than this marvelous union to God through Christ. The pattern was set in Adam and Eve, and it follows through to us. Okay, very intimate. You will often hear somebody say in a sermon, and I completely agree with the premise, is that when God looks at you, he does not see you. He sees Christ. Okay, because if he saw you as you are right now, he couldn't look at you. All right, but with Christ's covering, because we are in Christ, it's that intimate of a union. All that God will see of us is his Son, the perfection of his Son. Otherwise, like I said, he wouldn't be seeing us at all. We would not stand in the presence of a holy God as we are. And that's why Paul goes into great lengths in 1 Corinthians 15 to say that the corruptible cannot inherit the incorruptible, okay? Because we need to be translated into his image fully in order to come into the presence of God. But right now, when God considers us, he considers us because of Christ. And it's another really good reason why you could never lose your salvation. If you are in Christ, how are you going to come out of Christ? You have become a part of Christ. And unlike us who divorce our wives for any and every reason, Christ will never do that with us. He has made the commitment. He died in fulfillment of that commitment, and he will never reject the people that come to him. Anyway, the lesson Paul is giving, though, needs to be remembered. Men are to love their wives as their own body, just as Christ loves his own body. You called on Christ. He saved you. He sealed you with his Spirit. He will never, never forsake you. He will never leave you. People that teach otherwise, I feel bad for them. I feel bad for the people that listen to people that say you can lose your salvation. What bondage you're putting people in. I feel so bad that people have that in their heads that they can't understand. My friend emailed me today and he says, Charlie, you always say the same thing and I can't remember the words. He said, yeah, grace is getting what you don't deserve. And you say, mercy, explain it. It's mercy is not getting what you do deserve. It's two sides of the same coin. Grace is getting what you don't deserve. And the example I gave him was that today it rained. And there's a lot of people out there that do not deserve God's favor. All of us. But, from my perspective, there's a lot of people out there that didn't deserve that rain. And my answer to him in the email was, I hope they got a bar of soap and washed up while they were out there, because they need to be cleaned up. But they got the same rain that I did. I'm in Christ and they're not. Great. Okay. And then mercy is not getting what you do deserve. And I said, thank goodness and then I put in parentheses, we really received God's mercy when he saved us instead of sending us to hell, because that's what we deserve. Every person that is on this planet deserves hell. Jesus Christ gives us mercy. Or God through Christ gives us mercy. So it's a wonderful thing to remember. And I'll read it again. The lesson Paul is giving us needs to be remembered. Men are to love their wives as their own bodies, just as Christ loves his own body. He loves us. Thank God for Jesus Christ. Life